want to thank you for joining us in the 11 Breaking News Center this afternoon. I'm Lauren Watson, your digital anchor here at KKTV 11 News. We're about to hear from attorneys and the family of a man who died in police custody in 2022. Now, this man is named Kevin Dismang, and he was allegedly having a mental health crisis when he was detained by police and later died. His death was ruled a homicide by the El Paso County Coroner's Office, but today it looks like that his family and attorneys are filing a federal lawsuit. Now, I'm going to swap over to that feed. We also have body cam footage of the moments before that incident we're going to show you today. In addition to that, I'm going to swap over and wait for these people to talk here in Colorado Springs today.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Harry Daniels, the law office of Harry Daniels, civil rights attorney based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Along with myself, Kevin Mayer, a local counsel in Colorado Springs, and also not present, Bakari Sellers of the Stone Law Firm in Columbia, South Carolina. Today we filed a lawsuit on behalf of the state of Kevin Dismang against Sean Reed in his individual capacity, a Colorado Springs police officer, as well as Nick Fisher in his individual capacity, a Colorado Springs Fire Department paramedic. On November 15, 2022, something happened that should never happen. Mr. Dismang was in distress, physical and mental distress. People made a phone call to get Mr. Dismang help. And I emphasize on that word, help. He needed help. He wasn't a threat to the community. He wasn't a criminal. He was having a mental crisis that a lot of people have in our country, in our world, who needs help. Help came. Well, we thought help came. And the response was what they call the CRT team, which have been invoked or activated by the Colorado Springs to respond to people having mental crisis. They're there to help, not to escalate things. A lot of times, in a lot of cases that Kevin and I have, people who have these mental crises find themselves shot or killed because the people responding, law enforcement, simply did not understand there was a mental crisis and thought the person was criminal or acting in a manner that was threatening to society. Mr. Dismang was not. How do we know this, Kevin? Well, we got a video. It's captured on body camera. When the police officer arrived, and the fire department and the social worker, Mr. Dismang was in the street. He was removed from the street. He was told he's not under arrest, just to calm down, sit down. He said he would. At that time, Sean Reed, the officer, tried to put handcuffs on him. He didn't want to go into handcuffs. And as a result of him not wanting to go into handcuffs, and let me say this, he was suffering from a mental crisis, so we don't even know if he had the mental capacity to even know what was happening. But what we do know what happened, that an order was given from Sean Reed to take Mr. Dismang down. And when that order was given, I'm sure Linda and his daughter didn't know that would take Mr. Dismang down, be the last takedown he ever go. Paramedic, as you can see in the video, applied pressure to the upper extremities, neck area. Some people call it chokehold, stranglehold, whatever you want to call it, to Mr. Dismang. For how many minutes, Kevin? About 2 minutes. We understand that Mr. Dismang has some prior issues. But what was very clear in that video, that Mr. Dismang essentially died on scene. He was rushed to the medical center where life-saving measures was taken. It was unsuccessful. You know, one thing that we know for a fact, that Mr. Dismang died by the hands of another person. That's what you call homicide. Humble. person killed another person. That's how he died. The coroners here in El Paso County, well-respected coroners, pathologists, not coroners, I'm sorry, pathologists, medical examiners, concluded the death was due to homicide, restraint. That was captured on the video. They were there to help Mr. Dismain, but they killed him. They killed him. And while he was in the hospital, and Kevin will tell you more about that, well, some of these facts in more detail, and the nurse was administering CPR, I was joking and laughing. Called him names, talking about his weight, using profanity, bragging about how he was took down. The paramedic, that he'd used an old football move, and congratulated, say he had good form. Until they realized that Mr. Dismain was on the emergency room table and chest compressions had started. There's no way that this should happen anywhere. It should not happen in Colorado Springs, the state of Colorado, the United States, or anywhere. Those people were there designed, that unit was designed to de-escalate. It's the whole purpose of that team. But we had a Colorado Springs Police Department police officer there who did not. He gave an order. He deputized that paramedic who was not trained to do that. He's not trained, he's trained to save lives, not to take lives. He took the life with the assistance of that Colorado Springs police officer who gave that order, who also held Mr. Dismain down. We filed this lawsuit in the district court for the District of Colorado. The case number has been attached. You should all receive it. It's 124CV00423. And the case has been assigned. Who's the district court judge?
Sweeney.
Judge Sweeney, District Court Judge Sweeney in Denver, Colorado. I'm gonna have Kevin to come up to give you more. I know you have some questions. We'll get more into it. Questions, try to answer all you guys' questions. But let me say this. You know, I gave those facts for reasons. You guys have seen the video. You guys have reported about it. It's time for a change. Some of you reporters know me by my first name. Y'all shouldn't know me by my first name. I should not have to come from Georgia to Colorado Springs, to the Springs on these things. Something is fundamentally wrong with some folk who in department heads in this beautiful city. And we're asking for change. A lawsuit should not be filed to get change. Change should be made for the betterment people of Colorado Springs and Paso County. Change should be a person want to change themselves for the betterment of themselves and people. So with that being said, we have also asking today for the United States Department of Justice to come in. It's time. They've already have alluded they're coming into other cases here. It's time for the Department of Justice to come in to do a sweeping evaluation of the Colorado Springs Police Department to see exactly what the hell is going on. You have officers beating black men almost to death for not displaying a license plate. Now you got a team who's designed to help and protect and serve, killing the same ones they were there to call to help. It is time. With that being said, Kevin, come up, and we'll have Kendra James, who is the daughter of Mr. Dismain. She'll speak as well. So Kevin, and then we'll do Q&A after that.
You know, Harry touched on quite a few important things, but there's some other things that we really need to highlight here is that this team, this crisis response team, is a new thing. It's a new thing across the country, particularly in Denver, new here in Colorado Springs, and the very design is to respond to people in crisis, just like Mr. Dismain was, and it's to help, not to kill people. Another really important aspect of this case is how Mr. Dismain died was due to police restraint.